We have lost a true public servant.
Well, that was Wichita Public Schools Board of Education President Stan Reeser this afternoon as the Wichita community mourning the loss of school board member Melody McCray-Miller. She died this weekend at the age of 69. A Wichita native, she lived a life of service. She was the first black woman to serve as a Sedgwick County Commissioner and then went on to Topeka, where she was elected to the State House of Representatives. Following her time in the State House, she was an at-large member of the Board of Education for Wichita before she stepped away 5 months ago following health concerns. Reeser said he'll miss her leadership, intelligence, and her smile, adding her dedication to students was unquestioned.
She had a way of connecting with students where it was very clear that the child and the student knew that Melody felt very strongly for them, and she really believed in helping them reach their potential.
Now, Reeser added that the school board will declare a vacancy at the appropriate time. After that, the board will hold a public interview process before the board votes on a replacement.